Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to the Wyoming Knits YouTube channel. My name is Jenny Lee, and this is my channel where I like to talk about all the things I've been knitting on over the past week, all my plans for knitting patterns that I want to knit, and all the yarn that I want to knit with. So today is Sunday, August 3rd, 2025, and today is episode 101. You can find me on Instagram as Jenny Lee Knits, and you can find me on Ravelry as Jenny Lee S Knits. On Ravelry, I am also hosting a make-along this year. I'm calling it the Scrappy Cal. You can enter anything that you have used your leftover yarn scraps or anything that has 3 different colors that looks scrappy. I have an accessories cal, a sweaters cal, and a blankets cal. So the link to that will be in the description box below. I will pull prizes the end of September and the end of December. So this is an all year long make along. So make sure you head over there and check that out. So let's talk about where I am today. Today I'm coming to you from Southwest Wyoming, where I live with my husband, our daughter, and our little Yorkie Dax. My husband and daughter are out of town today. They took the jet skis and they went to the Flaming Gorge and they went for a day trip. So it's just me and the dog here today. I'm wearing the Love Note by Tincan Knits. It is a I want to say bracelet length sleeve. You can make it shorter or longer if you want. It's got this nice lace detail. I am wearing a camisole underneath. It is not quite cropped. My waist is right here. My belly button is right here, so it's just a little bit. The back is, I don't know if you can see that, the back is longer than the front. I used a yarn I got from Knitting is Metal. They are no longer a yarn company. I think it was Knitting After Midnight was the name of the yarn, and then I held a pink mohair from You Knit I Die, and I think the color was Naughty. I used 2 skeins of each one, and it's just a kind of a lightweight. It is warm, but it's lightweight and not too warm today. Right now it is 73 degrees outside. Our high is supposed to be 84. We cooled the house down as we slept last night, so it's still probably only about 67 in the house right now. So let's talk about what I have finished. My finished objects for the week. I did finish my String of Lights socks. Let's see, this is the one I was working on the last time. I had this one finished. So I was right here. I finished the leg, the heel, and I got down to the toe. I finished these on July 31st, so these will count for my grams out for July. So let's talk about how I constructed these. I started with a 64 stitch German twisted cast on. I did a 2x2 rib for 20 rounds. I'm not sure if that is the cuff that she has in the pattern. This pattern is by Witchery. I like to do a 2x2 ribbed cuff for 20 rounds. Then I started on the pattern for the leg, I did a slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset. I do the slip stitch heel flap from the Crazy Sock Lady Vanilla Socks pattern, and then I did the rest of the pattern on the top, vanilla on the bottom, plain stockinette, and then I did the same toe as the vanilla socks from the Crazy Sock Lady. So I usually take the vanilla socks with a 2x2 cuff and just plug in whatever the pattern is from the designer or the pattern that I purchased. So I do kind of modify just because I know this heel, I know it fits my foot, I know I can do it without looking at the pattern, I can do the toe without looking at the pattern, and so I usually just cast on the 64 stitches, do the cuff, pick the pattern I want to do the pattern, the heel, and everything else. So these are finished. These ones are going to be for me. I really I really liked these colors. I like the black speckles in there. And these were 74 grams. So that is my only finished object for this week. I feel like I didn't get a lot of knitting done. It's almost time for me to go back into the classroom and start setting everything up for this school year. I am a first grade teacher, and so I will be getting my classroom all set up. I have my class list. It always changes before the first day of school anyway. So I have not started labeling anything yet. So I think this week I was just kind of thinking about going back to school and things that I needed to get done and things that I wanted to finish here, and then I started feeling a little overwhelmed with all of my projects and I want to get some things done. And so there was a few times that I found myself just sitting and looking and thinking, what do I want to work on right now? I know I want to finish XYZ, but do I want to work on it right now? So let's talk about everything I worked on this week. The first thing I worked on were a pair of socks. They are in this Mountain State Stitches bag, and I'm also doing the string of lights for this one. This is a Lambwoman knits yarn. I'm pretty sure she's no longer dyeing yarn. Her Etsy shop only has mystery minis and a Valentine mini set, I think, on her Etsy shop. And that will be open until she sells out, and then she will close down her Etsy shop, I think is what it said on her Instagram. And so all the colors that I got when I ordered did not have, they had labels, but they didn't have names. So it had her label, but nothing was labeled with a name of the color. So I did start out with a 2x2 ribbed cuff. I did 64 stitches with a German twisted cast on. I use 9-inch circulars for excuse me, everything but the toe. I've done 70 rounds for the leg. I did a slip stitch heel flap, and now I am just working on making the foot long enough. So this is what it looks like plain, and this is the string of lights pattern. I do put stitch markers every 10 rounds, and I put in a different color where I start the heel. And then my second sock, I can just every 10 rounds I can just move my markers over, and I know how long my foot is, I know when to put in the heel, I know how long to make the next foot. So I'm working on that. This is going to be a gift for one of the secretaries at our school, so this needs to be done before the 18th. So I want to get it finished this week. Then I worked on this project. This is my Maema cardigan. It's in a CCM makes bag. I will link all the bag makers and yarn dyers in the description box below, along with a link to where you can find the pattern on Ravelry. So this is the Maema Cardigan by Pip and Pin. I did work on it a little bit. I think I'm kind of tangled. Okay. So it's looking like this so far. I've made just a little bit of progress. Actually, that's quite a bit of progress. A cute little stitch marker that I got from Yarnable. Little dinosaur. I think I have 5 more inches to go on the body, and then I start the ribbing for the hem, come back to the sleeves, and then pick up for the collar. So I really want to finish this. I want to get it done so I can have it when school starts. I like to have an extra cardigan to throw on because when you walk out into the hall, like, everybody's going to recess at a different time. Doors are open, doors are shut. There's airflow, and my arms get cold. So I'm going to make the sleeves a little bit longer, and then I'll have this to wear during the school day. So that is my Maema. I forgot to tell you which yarn I was using. I feel like I've talked about it a lot, and you guys probably just know, but for anyone that is new, this is my Momma Jess yarn. I got this in the April mystery color. The inspiration picture had a whole bunch of purple, and so I just grabbed 3 skeins, and I knew I was going to make some kind of sweater. So I decided to make the Maema. It is a fingering weight sweater. I think, I'm pretty sure they have a DK weight Maema now, that you can use a DK weight yarn for that. Let's see, my notes say this one is next. So this is a Sassy Sacks, also on Etsy. And you've seen this one a couple of times. I am using my Blackbird Sycamore that I got at the Yarn in the Tail. This is the shop colorway for, I'm not sure if it's for the Yarn Crawl or for the year. And then I'm using Drops Kid Silk Mohair in the color Apple. This one is the color Mocha Mars. Got the greens and the pinks. And so I'm holding it with the green yarn. And I've just made a little bit of progress. This is one that I didn't pick up until yesterday, I think. And I just did a little bit yesterday. So this is also a cardigan. This is the Garden Cardigan by, the name will be up here. It's got this beautiful lace panel that runs all the way down. It's got a double knit collar. Well, the 3 stitches here are double knit, and then this is just regular ribbing. I haven't wove in any of my ends yet. It is a drop shoulder cardigan, and I've only done about that much on the underarm and that much progress. So this has kind of been just hanging out while I work on my Maema, and then this will get picked up as soon as my Maema is finished, or as soon as I get one of my other projects finished. So that's that one. Then I have, so excited to show you this one. I talked about my sea glass cardigan last time and about how I should just finish the sleeves. Like, it's sleeves, it doesn't take that long. I finished the first sleeve. So you roll the sleeve. So I didn't put it on all the way. So here is the first sleeve. It is finished, it is done, it is nice. I think I can even wear this with maybe even a sweatshirt underneath it, so I can wear it at school. It'll be extra nice and warm. And I started the second sleeve, and I've made about that much progress. So I have a few more inches to go. I'm pretty sure all of these just get tied in a knot before you pick up the shawl collar or the button band. I think I'm going to do the bigger collar, and then this sleeve, there's these ends, and I've kind of just tied them together, and then I'll go back and weave them in. Maybe I'll just cut them. Just make sure the knot is secure and then just cut them. I don't know. Weave them a little and then go back and weave in my underarms. Usually when I do like sweaters like this and I go back and pick up for the sleeves, you can do like you can pick up an extra stitch and knit it together with the first stitch on your next round. But on this one, I wasn't sure how to do that without messing up the color work, so I just picked it up and just went. So I'll have to go back and weave in the ends under the arm so there's not a hole right there. But I love it. It did not really take that long for me to do this whole sleeve. I think this whole sleeve took me maybe about three days working on it, and I didn't work on it like every day. So I'm excited. Dropped my yarn. I'm excited to finish this. So that was my sea glass cardigan, and because I was waffling back and forth on what I wanted to pick up and work on, do I really want to work on that right now? I know I want to finish this, but is that what I really want to work on? I had this bag that I put one skein of yarn that I had caked up, and the rest of the yarn, this is Sinful yarn, and it's on her 92% superwash merino wool, 8% polyester, and Angelina sparkle, 437 yards per 100 grams, and the color is Warlock. This is the same base but a different dyer. that I did my salty air tea. I love this color. I love the sparkle. And I knew I wanted to make another daily pullover, so I started, I cast on and did just a little bit, and then that gave me a little more motivation to work on some other things. Don't know how that works. Start a new project and then you want to finish old projects or work on old projects. I don't know. But I do not have a sweater, pullover sweater in the round right now. So I think I just needed to cast it on, and that gave me a little more motivation to work on some other things. This is a V-neck pullover. So I'm working on the shaping for the V. And then right here is the raglan increases for the arms, the back. The back you cast on with a provisional cast on. And then come back when you do your collar. So I have that. So this might just get put on hold while I finish some other things. Now that it's cast on, I'm not constantly like, I should cast that on, I should cast that on, I really want to work with that yarn, I should just get it on the needles. Just cast it on. And then it gives you more motivation to work on your other things. So I cast that on, and then I worked on this project. This is my DK Jelly Roll Blanket by Kay Jones. I am using my Yarn Cafe Creations July countdown for 2024 and 2025. I have five colors that I have not put in there yet. I think these three colors will finish off the strip that I'm on right now, and then I'll use these two held together to do the I-cord border. And let's grab this. I have about this much left of this color. I am holding the inside, holding it double, pulling from the inside and the outside. And I was right here last time. I had just a little bit left to go. These Progress Keepers came with the countdown last year. So I did the whole next strip. I finished the last color then I went to this fun rainbowy color and then green, and so the green, finished out the green at the top of this strip, and then I had some left, so I did the rest of it on the bottom of this strip, and I've got this much. So I will finish out this last strip and then do the I-cord border. It is, I almost thought about stopping right here, and I held it up and I was like, well, I could do one more. Try to get all the yarn in there. So I'm going to do one more strip. It looks like 1, 2, 3, maybe 4-ish colors will fit. And then I can do the border. I I've only woven in half the ends so far. I need to go back and weave in some more. I just want this project finished. It was a little more than I wanted when I decided to work on it. I was so excited to do a jelly roll blanket, and I was going to use my advent for it, my countdown, and there was 31 days, and I was going to do DK weight because I like the weight of a DK weight blanket. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do DK, and I got almost all the way through the first year, and it was going to be like this long. And I was like, that's not quite a full-size blanket. Excuse me. So I'm going to need to add more. Like, what am I going to do? Like, there's 31 days if I want to do, I don't think she had her Christmas advent up, or I didn't really think that the Christmas advent would go with the same, I don't know. So I was like, I'll just do it again next year. And so by the time I finished the first year and started the next year, I was just like, can't this be done already? I just want it to be done. So I'm ready for this project to be done. I want it finished. So hopefully I can finish it this week. I want to have it finished, because that is over 1,000 grams of yarn out. I think it's 1,200 grams out, so I do want to get this finished. I am doing the join from the Crazy Sock Ladies, Kayla Litton's project page. I will link that with my, I think I have it linked somewhere, but it will be linked with my project notes. So working on that, and then I decided, I'm like, I could work on my GoGo Dynamo and get some more progress on it, maybe finish it. And so I pulled it out to see where I was. Let's see, where can I put my bag? And when I showed it last time, I was in the middle of the row, so I was like, well, I'll just get through the row. And then I looked at the pattern, and I had 2 more rows to go, and then turn the straight stockinette part into these little bubbles, or yeah, these little bubbles, and then do a couple more stripes of the gray. And I was like, okay, I could do that. So I did. And then you are supposed to start on the, let me grab a picture of it. So then you start, let me pull this up, on these little triangles, and each triangle is short rows, and you break the yarn every single time. Then after you do these triangles, you come back up here, pick up stitches along the top, and then decrease. So I have this whole section left, this whole section left, and then the bottom border. And I said, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do those triangles. I don't want to go back and pick up stitches. I think I'm going to rip it out. I think I'm going to frog it. So I think I would rather take the colors in this yarn and do something different. I do love working on Stephen West shawls. You learn so many new techniques, so many new things when you work on his designs. They have definitely helped me become a better knitter. I'm not afraid of brioche anymore. Picking up stitches and joining things modular is so much easier for me, that because I've done quite a few of his patterns. I've done a couple of his mystery shawls. I've done the Vertices Unite. I did the jigsaw puzzle blanket. And so doing his patterns has helped me become a better knitter, but I will not use this shawl. It will go in the drawer or on the back of my chair for 6 months, and then in the drawer, and I think I will get better use of the yarn if I frog it and use the yarn in something else. So I am frogging my GoGo Dynamo shawl. Don't think I really want the finished object. I don't want to go back and do all of that work for something that's gonna not do anything. It's just gonna set. So I think I'm gonna repurpose the yarn for a sweater, because it's four 100-gram skeins, so I can definitely get a sweater or a t-shirt out of it. And there's even some mohair in there. So I think I'm gonna frog that. And that is everything I worked on this week. I got some mail. I got one thing in the mail, so we'll talk about that. I have been getting the Yarn Brewery Shire sock set club for the year. You have to order, you have to go to her Etsy shop and order every month. And so this month was Gandalf's Fireworks. It's this beautiful, beautiful blue with the magenta and some speckles. I love it. This is the most vibrant one we've had so far. All the rest of them have been pretty neutral. And I'm just collecting them right now. So this one has been the most vibrant. I love it. So this was 120 grams into my stash. And so let's talk about my stash stats. I have my computer right here, so I'm going to be looking at it to tell you all of the things for this month. So this month I started in my stash. I had 80,198 grams of yarn in my stash. I brought in 2,310 grams of yarn into my stash. Over the course of the month, I ordered, I got my Mama Jess July sock set, my Yarnable, and my June yarn Brewery and my July yarn Brewery all this month. Yarnable and Mama Jess send theirs out at the beginning of the month. Yarn Brewery sends hers out at the end of the month. So I got my June. She sent it out at the end of June. I got it the first part of July. And then she sent out the July set at the end of July. So I got both of them in the month of July. And then I placed 2 orders to Knit Picks this month. And so that was 2,310 grams in. And I finished 1, 2, 3 pairs of socks this month. I sent out yarn for prizes. I finished my Salty Air tee, my No Frills sweater, and I put in a couple squares in my Cozy Memories blanket. And so that was 1,151 grams out, which put me at positive 1,159 grams in for the month, which took my total grams in stash to 81,357 grams. So I am finding that I am bringing in 1,000 more grams that I am knitting out for the month. So I need to finish a project before I can buy my next project's worth of yarn. I think I'm going to, instead of saying no more buying, because then you say no more and then you buy more, I think I'm going to say you can buy your next project worth of yarn when you finish 1 or 2 projects. Whatever I think is appropriate at that time. And maybe, because I think now that we're halfway through the year, I've kind of figured out that I am a collector of yarn also, but I want to use the yarn. This, I don't know if I have used any of my Yarnable yarn that I have received in 2025. So all of it has just, I think from here over is all of my Yarnable yarn. And I'm like, oh, I can't use it yet. Oh, I can't use it yet. No, just use it. Use it. So I want to start using more of my yarn. I know I have a lot of projects going. Use some more yarn before I buy some yarn. Finish projects before I can purchase bigger quantities of yarn. Maybe, I don't know, talking through it, maybe I'll say this and then I'll just go buy a whole bunch of yarn. Maybe I won't, but my yarn stash just keeps growing. I started out with 74,000 grams and I'm up to 81,000 grams. So that's 7,000 grams in so far this year. Let's see. So far this year, I have brought in 16,000 grams, knit out 9,000 grams, and have I brought in 16,334 grams, knit out 9,047.5 grams, and have accumulated 7,286.5 more grams than I started with. So I have brought in an extra 1,000 grams every month. So that's an extra 10 skeins of yarn that have not went out yet. I'm sure when I finish my jelly roll blanket, that's going to be a lot of grams out, and that might make up for some of it. When I finish some of my sweaters, that will make up for it. But I really need to think about getting some more out before I bring any more in, because that's going to get overwhelming. But I do love all the pretty yarn, and I have so many ideas, and I want to make so many things, so I just need to get it finished. Thanks for listening to my rambling. Thanks for listening to my stash stats at the end here. Leave a comment below what you're working on today as you watch this. Any ideas that I can use. Single 100 gram skeins or multiple single skeins in a project, like maybe a sweater or a blanket or something. I don't really wear shawls very much. I do blankets and sweaters and socks. So if you have any ideas of what I could make with a few just single skeins of yarn, give me some ideas so I can work through some of my stash. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and until next week, happy knitting!